Kripa Maya Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Bhakti Vinoda Sharaya Bhakti Vinoda Sharaya Yashomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Yashomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Gokula Ranjana Kana Jaya Radha Kalachandji Radha Kalachandji Radhe Jaya Radha Kalachandji Radha Kalachandji Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Nila Madhava Radha Nila Madhava Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Nila Madhava Radha Nila Madhava Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Rasa Bihari Radha Rasa Bihari Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Rasa Bihari Radha Rasa Bihari Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jaya Radha 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 Kalachandji Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Sham Sundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Shri Vrindavan Dham. Jaya Krishna Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Shri Vrindavan Dham. Jaya Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra. Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. Jaya Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Swami Jaya Jagannath. Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra. Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva. Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakacharya Stotarastha Shishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudeva Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakacharya Astotarastha Shishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhaya Charanarvindam Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya, BBT Founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakacharya Astotarastha Shishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai ISKCON Guru Brinda Ki Jai. Shri 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 Guru Parampara Ki Jai. Shri Sad Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasa Adi Gaura Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Brajabhumi Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Purushottama Chetra Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Gokula Puri Dham Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Srimati Tulsi Devi Maharani Ki Jai, Srimati Bhakti Devi Maharani Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Sankirtan Mahajagya Ki Jai, Jugadharma Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Ki Jai, ISKCON Texas Yatra Ki Jai, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Books and Prashadam Distribution Ki Jai. Jai, the Holy Disappearance Festival of Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudeva Ki Jai. Srila Gurudev Tir Bhav Mahatithi Ki Jai. Shri 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 Panchatattva Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. Shri 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 Jagannatha Baladeva Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai. Shri Shri Prahlada Nrsingadeva Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Govinda Ji Ki Jai. Shri Shri Chota Radha Kalachanji Ki Jai. Shri 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 Radha Kalachanji Ki Jai. Shri 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 Radha Kalachanji Dham Ki Jai. Shri 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 Radha Kalachanji Dham Gaura Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for being here. So just in a moment, we'll have Jai Radha Madhava. I just want to make a couple quick announcements about the schedule for today. So we'll have Jai Radha Madhava sung by Mother Nandini in a few minutes, followed by class by Srila Gurudev. And after class, we'll do a little bit of reflections. So something that stood out to the class for you. You can all think of something to share after class. And then after class, we'll take a break and we'll start back at 10 a.m. sharp with Kirtan. So we ask everybody to please be here at 10 sharp. We'll do Kirtan, and then at 10:30, there's a nice video, Jayanila Premadana, and some offerings by the God Brothers. So we'll see that as a video to start at 10:30. And then at 10:45, we'll continue with offerings. At 11:45, we'll do the Boga offering to Srila Gurudev. And then at 12 o'clock, we'll have Guru Puja at the Samadhi out in the park. And at 12:30, we'll have a sumptuous Prasadam feast. So thank you all so much for being here. Srila Gurudeva Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. I have to sit. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. I have to sit. Yamuna Chiravanachari. Oh Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Oh Yashodanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Gaura Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.
fortunate, Srila Prabhupada writes, that everyone has general instructions, and some are fortunate enough to get particular detailed instructions. So by carrying out the order of Guru, we feel a connection. But actually, we are not united. We are serving in separation. We take shelter of the spiritual master in the form of his deity. You have a deity of Prabhupada. You may not have a deity of your guru, but you have pictures, photographs. And we know that by the grace of Sri Baladev, the Guru's presence can be there even within a photograph. Or any item from the Guru is sacred, and the Guru's presence can be felt in all of these. But more than anything, we feel connected by the service, by instructions, by getting association with those who are close to and near to and dear to Guru. We get Guru's association. So this is one way that we can get the association of Guru, through those who are near and dear. They give the Guru's mercy. So when Prabhupada disappeared, then we have to pray. We pray in his deity form, we pray in so many different ways. But really it is very difficult to search for the instructions of one's Guru after his departure. It is very difficult. And we always have to try to have it confirmed. Am I pleasing my Guru? How can I know if I'm pleasing my Guru? When Prabhupada would finally come after a long separation, it was like coming out of a dream. We felt as if we were coming out of a dream. And one day we may again be with Prabhupada, and again it will feel as if suddenly, we were dreaming the whole time, and this is reality. So I can't say how you're feeling. Now I can't say because I'm not you. Now I'm in the position to you as a Guru. But I know for myself, when I was with Prabhupada, it was like coming out of a dream. And now we just live in that dream because Prabhupada is not physically present. So we have to live constantly in a dream and wait for that moment. I did ask Prabhupada how he felt, and he told me that he never for a moment felt himself separated from his Guru Maharaj. From that we can understand that he saw his Guru Maharaj constantly because of his absorption and service to his Guru Maharaj. So we come back finally on that point, that the ultimate way of connecting is through service. And that's really what Krishna's message to the gopis was, ultimately. The gopis were told by Krishna, there's no way that I can repay you for the service that you have rendered. Therefore I say, I pray that you please be satisfied by the service itself. So I also feel that to those who are here, who have served so faithfully their spiritual master, there's no way really that I can do anything to repay all that you have done. I can only pray that somehow you feel satisfied by the service that you have done. By the feelings of separation, I pray that you have made advancement towards the final goal of Krishna Prema. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So we thought it would be nice to have a little discussion or reflections afterwards. If the devotees would like to share what stood out from them during the class, I'll ask Srila Gurudev's disciples to share first, and then we can go around from there. Matarata Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, would you like to start us off?
Many points that stood out was the fact that by serving the Guru, serving his instructions, that you will always feel that the Guru is there with you. You never feel separation from the Guru by serving him and by serving his devotees. So that was one of the main points that stood out to me.
I was reflecting on his statement that how do you stay in the dream, because when the spiritual master is around, it does feel like a dream, right? You're in a dream. It's amazing the depth of your feelings in Krishna consciousness. And then when the spiritual master leaves, in the separation, you start first feeling like, how are things going to work out now? It's going to be hopeless. Everything's hopeless. The spiritual master is not there, and you feel like, a widow, right? You've been widowed, you sort of lost your husband. How do you actually continue? And so over years, we come to learn when Srila Prabhupada said, I was never separated from my spiritual master, what he really meant by that. And so in Gurudev's talk today, he sort of made that very clear, that not being separated from the spiritual master means not being separated from the service, all the services, as a result of him becoming the spiritual master. When he becomes spiritual master, he gives us services in ISKCON, services at the temple, service in terms of preaching, or he may even give a specific service that you have to do. But when we do that service, we really feel the presence of the spiritual master. And you actually go deeper and you realize that there's more to the spiritual master than when actually he was present. Because when he was present, it's like the Vapu is everything, him saying something, him doing something is everything, which is actually true. But when you go deep into the service as a result of the spiritual master's blessings, Krishna gives us more realizations, and these realizations make us feel like the spiritual master is still with us. He never left us. And here in Dallas, we're very fortunate that we also have his samadhi like that, and his picture on the altar in front of Gurudev, Prabhupada. So, you really feel the presence, but we feel the presence in Dallas in terms of the mood that he left Dallas with. When he was here, the mood was so much love for everybody, especially the children. He gave so much love to the children, right? And the children would love him being around. All the other seniors, the children may not pay too much attention to, but when Gurudev was here, they really would mill around him, like that. That is the same I'm seeing now amongst the community members, that this type of love is there in the community members, and the community members mill around one another, and the community has become a very powerful community as a result. So I really like that he spoke about that today in a deep way, that you feel the presence of the spiritual master through the service that you perform, and you perform that service because that is your way of filling your heart with the love of the spiritual master, and the love of the spiritual master really translates to the love of Lord Nityananda, which translates to the Lord of Lord Gauranga, which translates to the love of the deities on the altar, Radha Kalachanchi, like that. So it was really nice that this video was chosen, because for most of us, after Gurudev left, it has been very difficult for us. Personally, it's been very difficult. And this is what actually helps fill the gap somewhat. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'm going to share a story, a real story, that exemplifies this principle of the spiritual master hearing our prayers. So this must have been around 1981. I was the treasurer, I was a brahmachari, I was a treasurer in the Houston temple, which service I did for a very long time. Also the treasurer for the zone at a certain point. But because I was the treasurer and it was a brahmachari temple, everybody went out on Sankirtan every day. The only people that stayed back were one pujari. One pujari did all of it. Except in the morning there would be another person to dress. That was it. There was one pujari. And the temple president would sometimes be back. A lot of times he would be out rotating between different Sankirtan parties. And me. So because of this, I was the person who answered the phone. And because I answered the phone, and the books that were being distributed had the temple address in the back for Houston, then I would get phone calls from people who had gotten the book. So I had the opportunity to preach, which was very nice. And Srila Gurudev at different times would be there. He also spent a lot of time at the Houston temple, especially back in those days. And I was on the second floor. His quarters were, for one period they were on the third floor, for another period they were on the second floor. But in the course of doing this, I had a cousin that before I joined, I got him into Krishna consciousness. And so he had some friends, and I used to preach to them over the phone. So one of them was a young girl named Terry. Another one was a young boy named Oli. And so there were a couple of them. And so they would call up, and I would preach to them over the phone. So this went on for some time, and there were many other preaching things that happened that were pretty remarkable, not by my doing. So I found out that these budding devotees wanted to come to Dallas, and this was up in Michigan. So I was very sorry. I was a little bit disturbed because they were going to go to New Vrindavan first. And in those days, if you went to New Vrindavan, you didn't escape. And so they were driving. And so I felt very strongly that if I didn't go and expedite this journey, they might not make it. So I told the temple president, and that was Pandava Vijay. And he said, "No way, you can't go." Because it was a lot. That service was a lot. So, and I was determined. So I said, "No, I want to go." And he said, "Okay, you can go if Gurudev approves it." So I called Gurudev on the phone, because that's what I do. I remember during the marathons, there was a meeting every day, every single day during the Christmas marathon. I would produce the reports. I'd be up late at night. The next morning, have a meeting, make decisions. So I had what was that phone? I had one of those phones to him. So I called him and I explained, and he said, Bhaktin Terry has written to me, and I've written to her, and we have a connection, and I'm sure that it's going to work out. But there was the other person that he didn't know about, right? And I knew that this person was just going to fall through the cracks, right? So, but what argument could I make? Because I didn't want to tell him, well, there's somebody else that could be coming too, because then if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't look very good, right? So this isn't the first time this has happened, but I'm sure many or all of you have experienced this. I just made this intense, instant, it's like just in a flash of a second, and everything happens. This little prayer in my heart, instantly. And immediately he said, I think you should go. Immediately. So that was one example of how the Guru hears your prayers, because it was immediate, and that wasn't the only time. And so the result of that is I worked it out with Pandava Vijay. He said, okay, you can only go for 3 days or whatever. And I flew up there, and we all drove down together, and it was amazing. Srila Gurudeva Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. I was struck by his answer.
Gotta hold it up a little higher. No, you just have to hold it up closer to your mouth. It's on.
Can everyone hear? Because implicit in that question, does the Guru hear our prayers? It's kind of it's almost like a challenge, Like, are you really the supernatural being, that I can surrender to? It's a little bit. Anyway, there's that kind of question, or that kind of feeling implicit in that question. And I liked his answer. His answer is that I'm nobody, really. I'm just material, the material body of the Guru sitting in front of you. But it's like a position that you assume, that you accept. And implicit in that is that we also need to do our part and accept him as such. It's just like when one sits on the Vyasasana, if the listeners are there, there's a communion, and the listeners actually are expected to pull the knowledge out of by their hearing. There's a reciprocal relationship. So with the Guru and disciple, it's the same idea, that we have to do our part and accept the Guru as the representative of God, and then the magic happens.
Yes. I felt several things in this amazing class that was chosen, just really beautiful. And a couple things came to me when Gurudev says, who am I? Just conditioned. I think that's his total humility. He also reflected that, the mercy of Nityananda and Balaram are flowing through the spiritual master. He's the personification of their mercy. In the Christian tradition, prayer is paramount. You're praying. And sometimes in our tradition, I remember in the day it wasn't so talked about. But here Gurudev talks about that, about the power of prayer, and that takes shraddha, that takes faith, to know that when you pray, and he mentioned the picture, we have several pictures of Gurudev on our altar that we worship, and the power of the instruction from the spiritual master. I remember two things. We were reading the memory series, some of the memories of Srila Gurudev while I was cooking last night, and Fridananda Maharaj was reflecting how Gurudev had visited him, and he was he wanted to go back to school, and he was isolating what he wanted to do, and Priyananda Maharaj was saying, well, you should, he was encouraging him to go to Austin and go to different places, and they discussed so many things, and ultimately, what did he say? He said he wanted to be near his family in Dallas, and that's why he chose SMU. So I think that I remember also instructions he gave in a class that every second initiation devotee should be on the altar. They should be on the altar doing some kind of seva. So I was blessed to do that. Here, dressing Radha Govinda also in Puerto Rico many times. And now through some health challenges, we worship and dress the deity and follow that instruction at home. So that's the most powerful thing for me that I got out of this, the power of prayer and staying in the instruction of the spiritual master no matter what challenges come in your life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. In one of the things they emphasized here was that we get the reciprocation when we are doing the service. And I have a personal experience with that. He have encouraged Nandini and I, and he gave us a couple of different instructions about distributing prasadam. He said that one time he told us, if you are ever in a crossroads in your life, open up a restaurant and distribute prasadam. And then another time he told me that at that time I was, my meager service was helping financially because I was traveling because of the business I was involved. And one time Gurudev told me, what you're doing is okay. Householders should help, maintain the temple and the services of the devotees and that kind of a thing. But unfortunately, we are in Kali Yuga, and in Kali Yuga, there is not enough wealth to give in charity. So if you're going to give in charity, distribute prasadam. And so we were living in Puerto Rico at the time, and when he passed away, and we, of course, like all of us, I'm sure here, we are in shock, and what we're going to do now, how we're going to keep the connection. And so somehow or another, the Super Soul remind us of those instructions of Srila Gurudev. And so we decided to open up a restaurant, and his name was Tamal Krishna's Veggie Garden in Puerto Rico. And so the thing about it is that that restaurant, and then when we also ran the restaurant in Denver, it was the highlight of my Krishna consciousness doing that service. And I never felt so Krishna consciousness. I never felt so satisfied. I never felt so much in connection with Gurudev just by following the instruction that he gave us. But the taste and the strength and the love was all reflected in doing the service that he has suggested that we should do. So, I have, even now, just when I chant my rounds, two things. One is to glorify Krishna, and the other one is to satisfy the order of Gurudev that he gave us. And when, in my personal experience, when we do that, when we live in the instruction of the Guru, because when we open the restaurants, in Puerto Rico, and then the one in Denver, Gurudev was not present anymore. But the connection was so vivid and so wonderful, actually, that that's the point that I felt he's mentioning today, that I felt in my life had, the most impact. Srila Gurudev Ki Jai, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. One thing that really struck is the whole prayer thing and the connection with the spiritual master. And I'm going to tell something about something that maybe a third of you have already heard before, but I'll tell it again. I was also, raised as a Catholic. We prayed before meals. We prayed in the evening before bed. We went to church and prayed in the morning. But I never really fully had a grasp of the connection that prayer had. It was just based fully on faith, because you were told that it happens, that there's a connection. So anyways, fast forward, living in Oklahoma on our farm. Now you know the story I'm going to tell. But Srila Gurudev was beginning his journey of advancing the Krishna consciousness movement in China, and he was starting in Hong Kong. And I was a very young devotee, a couple of years within this Krishna consciousness movement, and I wrote him a letter. And within the letter, I told him all the affairs that were going on our farm. This is in Oklahoma, USA. And I glorified his service to Srila Prabhupada. All of the things is in so many ways about his personal service and his grand services within this movement. And then I also submitted my own in a prayerful way that somehow I hope that I'll become qualified, and that I may also have this opportunity to serve you as you did Srila Prabhupada. And I stuck it in. Of course, this was back in the early 1980s. There was we didn't have cell phones. If you you couldn't call on the phone practically unless you wanted to pay, exorbitant amount of money. So I stuck it in the mailbox, expected he would get it, a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then I might hear back if he had time to reply in a month. Anyways, I stuck it in the mailbox in rural Oklahoma, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Pick it up the next morning. I'm sure the mailman would come out. Well, the very next morning, I got a phone call, or there was a phone call at the lower house. A rancher drives up and says, "Hey, Srila Gurudev's on the phone. He wants to speak with you." So I went. Srila Gurudev was in Hong Kong. I'm in Oklahoma. So I go down to the phone, and I offer my obeisances. And Srila Gurudev says, "So Gopal, are you quick?" That was the first words he asked me. "Are you quick?" It's like it felt kind of humorous to me, because he knows I'm a country guy. At the same time, I was thinking, well, maybe he meant basketball. That can be really fast and quick. But anyways, I knew he didn't mean that. So I said, yes, Srila Gurudev. And so he went on to say how he needed help in Hong Kong, and he wanted me to come. This is cut it down short. He wanted me to come to Hong Kong and be there within 2 weeks. He said, "You go down to Houston, go see Panava Vijay. He'll get you a pass." I never left anything before, but especially not out of the States. So he says he'll get you a passport, visa. He says when you come, you can't wear anything devotional. You can't bring anything devotional. You can bring your bead bags. That is all. No neck beads, nothing. Now I think we could wear neck. I'm not sure if we wore neck beads or not, but no devotional, no books. He said you have to come because it wasn't legal to be a Hare Krishna in China, and in Hong Kong is where he was getting his start, and so he needed to do legal activities there, and he didn't want us to ruin it by, presenting ourselves as some cult. So I went down to Houston, got presented, got everything together, and in 2 weeks I was off on a plane and arrived in Hong Kong at 2 o'clock in the morning. The devotee picked me up, drove me to 5 Homan Tin, Hong Kong, Kowloon, and I went upstairs to our flat, and he said, "Oh, Srila Gurudev wanted me to bring you to his room when you got here." This is like 1 or 2 in the morning. And so we knocked, opened the door, and the lights were out. He was laying in bed, offered my obeisances, and I got up, and he says, "So go, Paul. This is exactly what you wanted, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Yes, Srila Gurudev." He says, "And I didn't get that letter until 4 days ago." He says, "But he says that is the Chaita Guru. That is the connection in the heart that the Guru hears your prayers." So, anyways, I thought of it. I thought that was such a strengthening to me to understand how you never lose that connection. I mean, that was clear cut. This is what you wanted, and just like boom, man, it happened, and it couldn't have happened any other way but having that type of a connection. And there were so many other, almost mystical things that appeared also. That there was this connection. I'd say this other short one. I told it upstairs before, but I was in Houston, and Srila Guru was in China. He's coming to visit America. Came to Dallas. So I was, we didn't have the internet quite yet then, and I was in the bookstore, used bookstores. I used to buy how-to books, how to build a bookshelf, how to do plumbing, whatever it might be. And I saw this book. It was How to Improve Your Eyesight. I thought, hey, very nice book. I don't need it. It's very old, like a hardbound, 1919 or something like that. I thought, let me get this for $0.25, and I took it. And Srila Gurudev visited about a week later, and I was in his room unpacking his things, put them in a drawer, and he had a couple things that indicated he was trying to do something with his eyes. He had these weird-looking glasses, spectacles with holes in them, and he also had a book on eye improvement. And so I just commented to Srila Gurudev, "So, Srila Gurudev, are you trying to improve your eyesight?" And he says, "Yes. This is all really good stuff." He says, "But you know what I'd really like? There's this guru of the author of the book that he had." He said, this lady stated the name and the book. And that was the book that I picked up a week and a half earlier that I really had no inclination for, other than I thought it might be cool. And I said, "I have that book, Srila Gurudev." He goes, "Can I borrow it?" Anyways, these things are very, for somebody as simple as myself, I needed these things to help strengthen my faith of this type of a connection. Srila Gurudev Ki Jai.
Is this way? Jai Srila Gurudev. Speaking about children, Gurudev was really like the kids. I remember, when he walked sharp every 5 o'clock in the afternoon, he walked up and down the street, and every time he see the kids in the street, he always stop. And he always say, "Hi, how are you?" Hare Krishna, like that. And I know that when we do Sankirtan, he was so pleased, and he invite all the kids upstairs, and they watch cowboy, the cowboy game, and the eating popcorn. That's why Gurudev is so really, he look at everybody equal, children, adults, and he's so kind. And I remember also when we do Sankirtan, he encouraged us so much. And even he tell us to go out Sankirtan at 6 o'clock in the morning. Go out and go to, that's during marathon. And come home at 10 o'clock at night. And like we go in the morning in the airport, and then we come home at 1 o'clock, and then from 1 o'clock to 10 o'clock we do street flight. And he's so happy. I mean, you can just see, that sweet smile they always give us, like until today in my head, I always imagine that sweet smile in his head. And one day he even go to the airport and check on us, It's just different, It's just so very encouragement. And he always say, I want you guys go out in Sankirtan, and the girls will be cowherd girls, and the boys is cowherd. He call it cowherd boys and cowherd girls. And then, like one day a week, the men will eat with him breakfast upstairs, and then the women eat up with him upstairs. And I remember he told when he went to school in SMU, he told me, I want you to cook once a week for me. And I told him, Gurudev, I don't know how to cook. And he just said, no, just cook for me Asian food, spring rolls and Chinese noodles. And I remember the first time I cooked, I was shaking. I was shaking because I know how strict he is, But then when Radha Krishna gave it the prasadam to him, he rang the bell, and I was, and then when I went inside, he has that big smile. I always imagine that smile you always give to all of us, just sweet. Anyway, Jai Srila Gurudev.
Srila Gurudev ki jai. Thank you so much for sharing. So I'm just recognizing the time. It's 8:52 now. And so I think if everyone's okay, we'll break now. And then at 10 o'clock, we'll come back for Kirtan. And then at 10:30, we'll start the offerings. Thank you so much. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Radha Kalachandji ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.